It was a big week in the tech world as everyone combined at CES, and Yahoo Finance's Allie Garfinkle got a front row seat at CES in Las Vegas. She had the chance to speak with AARP CEO Jenkins on the company's Age Tech collaborative and the future of its technology. Take a listen.
The AARP-Age Tech collaborative is really our take on how do we bring startup technologies with investors, with our knowledge at AARP of the kind of solutions we need that will allow people to live and age better. And so we all know that people are living much longer than they did for our parents or grandparents. And so how do we make that as exciting and healthy and painless as possible? And all of the companies that you see here in the Age Tech Collaborative are part of that venture with us.
And the Age Tech Collaborative is pretty new, right? It was just established in 2021, I believe.
Started in 2021, but building off of several years of our space in the innovation space of really trying to help solve issues, particularly around health and financial, and also addressing issues of isolation. And so you'll see a lot of the technologies and solutions that are being developed focused in those areas.
So I'd love to hear, I was with a couple of the startups you guys have invested in, Flowly, Labrador, they're all really cool, but I'd love to hear what technologies you're most excited about right now.
Well, I think one of the things that I love to see is the technologies related to solving issues around caregiving. I often say that one thing's for sure, you're either going to need a caregiver or be a caregiver, and to see the kind of technologies that allow caregivers to be in another state and coordinate and collaborate with someone, a patient or either their parent or grandparent in their own home, I think is so helpful. We see that also helpful to doctors and healthcare providers being able to communicate with the person to make sure that they're keeping up with their medicines, whether it's around medication management or fall prevention. So many of the different technologies you see. And what's so interesting to me is most of the innovators here, they're solving something for either a parent or grandparent. So it's a real personal touch, while at the same time coming up with a product or services that's going to make life better for millions of people.
Well, and that's the thing we were talking about before the lights came on, right? That this gets incredibly personal for people really fast. Like I brought up my grandmother who passed away this past year. I was thinking about how these things might have helped her. Does that raise the stakes for some of this technology for you? The fact that it's so personal and it's for such an important moment in people's lives?
Well, absolutely, because, I think that human dimension of what we do, how do we help people live and age better, I think is so important. And for us, this increased longevity, the worst possible thing is for you to live to be 100 in poor health. And so we want you to be vibrant and healthy and be able to exercise and go out and do all those experiences that, is not age related, that we all want to do those kind of things. And to see these young innovators here partnering with us to come up with solutions that in most cases are ageless. It's not that it's just for old people. It's, many of the solutions that you see, whether it's around regulating your heartbeat or showing you how to relax, some of those different kind of technologies are helping you to manage your finances better. That's ageless, and I think that's so important. And one of the cool things that AARP is in there, not just for older people, but for people of all ages.
Yeah, I also have to ask, what are kind of some of the key issues that you guys think tech can solve imminently, soon, or at least help with substantially for older people? Are there any that you're really thinking about, like this is one that could make a difference today?
Yeah. So I would say in the healthcare space, it's a lot about mobility and also keeping track of your vital health, your vital health predictors, whether it's about heart or diabetes or, your regulation of your medicine and sort of those kind of things. I think in the financial space, it's making sure that you're not being scammed, that you're protecting your financial resources, because we know that we hope that you're going to live 10 to 15 years longer than you probably planned for financially, and how do you do that? And then I would say the other is around the issue of isolation and enjoyment and personal fulfillment. And I think coming off of COVID, we all learned that, hey, technology is the key for so many things, and we all learned how to Zoom and, be fluent in Microsoft Teams to be able to connect with our colleagues or
Skype,
our friends or families or whatever. And I think, what what came out of that is how important it is that technology is allowing us to have virtual doctor visits or even to stay in the workplace longer because you're not having to go into an office and do those kind of things. And so it's super cool to be able to interact with all of these different technologies. And as I was walking around the day, I was like, okay, you solved this for, keeping track of your vital organs. But hey, if you could put that into a cool little, iPod or something that looked like a music, but it was also assisting me in hearing, how cool would that be? So that we could get rid of that stereotype of, hey, you're older, you have to wear a hearing aid. But it could be, to listen to music, or it could be collecting your vital statistics and those kind of things.
It could be doing more than just helping you hear.
Absolutely.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, you're here with an incredible slate of people. Steve Case, Grant Hill, Ken Jeong. AARP can really command some star power, and I'd love to know why you think that is.
Because we're cool. I mean, no, I think
you're cool.
I think that the issues that we cover is important to people in their own lives, and we see that every day. I've known Grant Hill for many years, and the work that him and his parents have done, particularly around in communities. And I know that Lauren and Seth Rogan, who are going to be with us, they've started their own foundation that's around dementia. And so most of them have a connection between the mission work that we do at AARP. And I'm so glad that, we have a brand that these entertainers and people who have these vast amount of followers are happy to engage with us on.
That was AARP CEO Joanne Jenkins.